Okay, today we are going to be learning how to multiply a fraction by a fraction. The first thing we're going to do is build a model of 3/5. So I'm going to draw a rectangle and cut it into 5 parts. Then I will shade in 3 out of the 5 parts. Now I'm going to look at my other fraction. It says 1/4 multiplied by 3/5. That's the same thing as taking 1/4 of the 3/5 that we have shown here. So now I am going to use horizontal lines to cut this into 4 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And with a different colored pencil, I'm going to color in the first row we have out of the 4 rows. Now I can determine how many total parts I have. I have a 5 by 4 array, which is 20. And of those 20, I'm going to circle all of the ones that overlap in my shading. I will count those rectangles. 1, 2, 3. So having 1/4 out of 3/5 is the same thing as having 3/20. Let's try second one. 2/3 multiplied by 4/5. The first thing I'm going to do is draw a model representing 4/5. I will draw 5 columns. And of those 5 columns, I'm going to shade in 4 of them. Now I'm going to take 2/3 of the 4/5 that I have shaded in. I'm going to do that by cutting it into rows of 3. I know I want to cut it into rows of 3 by looking at my denominator. That tells me how many pieces I want this to be in. So there's 1, 2, 3. And of these 3 rows, there's 1 row, 2nd row, 3rd row. I'm going to shade in 2 of the 3 rows. Now I'd look to see how many total pieces I have in my model. I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5 by a 3. 5 by 3 is 15. I'm going to circle the overlap shaded pieces and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2/3 times 4/5 is 8/15. Let's try one more problem. I have 3/6 multiplied by 2/4. might say, Miss Hammond, you keep representing the second fraction first. What if I want to represent the first fraction first? You can do that. I'm going to show you. You can represent 3/6. So I will cut it into 6 equal parts. And shade in 3 out of the 6. And now I'm going to take 2/4 of that 3/6. So next I need to draw horizontal lines broken up into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to shade in 2 of the 4 rows. Count how many total pieces there are now in my model. I have a 6 by a 4, which is 24. I'm going to circle the shaded parts that overlap. And count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3/6 times 2/4 is 6/24. If I don't see this answer in an answer choice on a test, I know that I might possibly need to simplify this fraction. So I look to see what number 6 and 24 have in common. And the largest number they have in common is a 6. So I can divide this to get an equivalent fraction of 1/4. Now, I want you to notice something about the problems and the answers. Let's look at the first one. Look at the numerators in your answer. Then look at the denominators in your answer. Ooh, light bulbs are going off everywhere. Look at number 2. Look at the numerators in your answer. And look at the denominators in your answer. So this is a way that you can do a quick check of your model to see if you are solving these problems correctly. Ms. Hammond, it's so easy to multiply the numerators and get your answer, and then multiply the denominators and get your answer. Why are you having us draw all of these models? Well, because I want you to see how much these numbers are worth and what you're actually doing when you multiply a fraction. For example, number 1, you have 3/5 shown here, right here, and you're taking 1/4 of the 3/5. So by drawing the model, you can see that this is 1/4 out of the 3/5. If you never drew the model, then you would have no idea what these numbers are actually representing.